All I'm saying.
Difference between entrepreneurship and working for somebody being an employee. So what was the biggest difference that you saw?
The biggest difference that I seen was having a job. It was guaranteed money, and when I say guaranteed money, it was you holding your position at the job and doing what you're supposed to do, following the guidelines or whatever the case may be, knowing that you're going to get a guaranteed check. But in entrepreneurship, you literally have to. It's a hustle, so you have to really find a way to sell. Like you have to know how to sell your product in order for somebody to buy into you. So that was like the biggest transition because you got to believe that you can sell this product regardless of what it is. Like even like just these like antiques on the table. If this is what you do and you know how to sell that, sell it. Like, but that's if you had that type of experience. Because I had experience in sales, but like having to sell you something that you create and that what you do, that was the biggest transition because you don't know when you're going to get the money. You don't know when you're going to get money, like, at all. And that's what a lot of people, they fail to talk about that. Y'all always see people with this lifestyle, but it's like, how did you get to where you are today? And nobody ever see the struggle. They always see, like, what is that? They see the glitz and glam.
But they don't see what it took to get there.
Yeah.
So
And what was yours?
So for me, I'll say this first. Like the biggest difference between working in corporate America and being an entrepreneur is that when you work in corporate America, everything is taken care of. So you're not directly doing anything to fund everything that's going on. What I mean by that is let's say you're a cashier, right? You didn't put up any money to purchase the equipment that you use, like your register, your till, all that stuff. You didn't have to put up any money to purchase the products. Everything is there. You're there to do a job. You're not actually funding anything that's going on. Now, when you do your job, you are indirectly funding everything that's going on. But that operation doesn't necessarily need you to continue to be what it is and run and make money. Because you're expendable, you're replaceable. So when we flip the other side of the coin and we start talking about being an entrepreneur, the biggest thing being an entrepreneur is that you fund everything. So from your materials to running your business, everything comes from you. And if you're not using your own money to fund your business and fund what's going on, then you are not an entrepreneur. And I think that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Mm-hmm. So the biggest difference for me was okay, yes, in our field we provide a service. In your field you provide products. Mm-hmm. So for us to get paid, we have to provide our service. So our service directly funds our business. So whatever money we make, a lot of times you end up having to put that money directly back into your business, to continue to make money. So it's like with entrepreneurship, it's like a revolving door of money, So
we do both. We service and do sell products.
Yeah, that's what I was mostly referring to your
the upholstery
side. So yes, you do provide services now. So yeah. So that was the biggest and what I will say is that a lot of people, they think that they can just jump into entrepreneurship and everything is just gonna be, peaches and cream, and that is definitely not the case. It definitely wasn't the case for me in our business, So we've been in business going on 6 years now. So it's like we're just now starting to reap the benefits of the hard work for the past 5 or so years that we put in. So when they say that it takes you 3 to 5 years when you start your business to actually start, reaping the benefits, that is definitely true. Mm-hmm. That is not an understatement. As far as entrepreneurship goes, what are some of like the biggest obstacles that you've run into?
Dealing with people personalities. You're dealing with many people and trying to sell your product, your service, whatever it is. Thank God, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, having a job really trained me into like the qualities that I have. Like, customer service is like my biggest thing, and that's what makes me, you know, who I am today, in a sense of how my business is running. Like, I get that I have like the best customer service. Like, I make sure that everything, I take myself out of it. Like, it's not about what I want, it's about what the customer wants. You know, when they say customer's always right, that's real. Like, that's true. Like, you gotta get out of that mentality on some, okay, well, no, I ain't gonna do this, because no, like, it's not about you anymore. Like, it's literally about them. You're working for them, even though you're working for yourself, but you're really working for them. Because you want to get referrals, you want people to come back, and you want people to give you a good name. And I'm all about my name, so that's the first thing I think about. Like, yeah, you may have those clients that may just be like, oh, just getting on your nerves and stuff, but you have to take your emotions out of it. And that was like one of the hardest things in the beginning for me. But as I learned just through the process, because you have to learn from each mistake that you make, and you're going to make them as long as you're in business. There's no right or wrong situation. You just have to learn like what makes the whole situation comfortable. It's not going to always, you know, you're going to have good clients, you're going to have bad clients, but by the grace of God, I pray for my clients. I pray for them. I make sure that I get clients who are patient, because what I do is custom. So I tell them straight up, like, I'm not on your time as far as your grand openings and all that good stuff. That was your responsibility. I'm booked, like, but I'll put you in there, but first come, first serve. Like, that's how I do it.
Yeah. So as far as customer service goes, this is what I'll let you know, a little secret too. Just because you're an entrepreneur and you're putting up your own money and you're making everything run, that does not mean that you still do not have a boss. Your customer is your boss. So whereas on the other side with me, we deal with big clients. You know, we deal with, you know, the like major telecommunication service providers. So at the end of the day, like, that's our customer. So if our customer is not happy, then first of all, like, your reputation, and your entrepreneur, your reputation is everything. It's everything. So if one customer is not happy, you know, for my business in particular, that could be detrimental, because it's like, if they say, hey, if I've got this big company that I'm working with, and they say, hey, you know, this company, you don't want to work with these guys. They're unprofessional. They don't do the work right. You know, their service is terrible. At that point, we lose money. You know, that particular customer could lose money from their clients. So it's like a revolving door of, you know, making sure your customers are satisfied, because they have to make sure that their customers are satisfied. So it's not just, okay, I'm an entrepreneur and I'll put my own money, I just do what I want to do. I don't have a boss.
Mm-hmm.
You always, anytime someone is paying you, that particular customer is your boss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether you want to look at it that way or not, but that's how you should look at it, because the same way that you went hard for, you know, Walmart or Target, or, you know, your corporate job, AT&T, whoever, same way you went hard for that company when you were an employee, you have to go above and beyond, even harder for your clients when you're an entrepreneur, because word of mouth sometimes is all you have, and your reputation for your business and the integrity of your business. So that's a big thing when you talk about entrepreneurship. Yes, you don't have a boss, you're your own boss, but technically you're not really your own boss.
Yeah, unless you just living off residual income, but in general, you're still not your own boss, because they still have to pay you. And as a boss, you pay yourself. You pay them and yourself, you know, but you gotta put the money out in order to receive it. So, no, Mr. Entrepreneur.
I do a little something. So, what would you say is a good rule of thumb for someone who's just getting started into entrepreneurship or is thinking about going into entrepreneurship?
Don't listen to other people who are not in the same like position as you, in a sense of, if they're not doing anything, if they're not like, if they don't have the vision that you have, they're never going to see it. They're not going to give you the advice that you are looking for. Don't listen to people who say you can't do it, and even if somebody, don't get discouraged. Like, even if someone says no, sometimes it's just not right now, because at the end of the day, people are still watching you. So as they're watching you, they looking at your progress. They looking at, you know, how you conduct yourself. They looking at your growth. They're looking at you in general before they give you their money. So, you know, that's my advice.
My advice would be definitely do your research. I would say
Thanks.
before you decide on whatever it is you want to get into, whatever industry it is, do your research on demographics, geography. Do your research on your actual craft. Because what I see a lot of is a lot of people, they think that because they have a talent for something or they have a passion for something, they think that, okay, just because I like doing this and I'm good at it, that means that other people are gonna support me and they're gonna jump on the bandwagon with me and support me. And a lot of times what happens is that you may be good at something, but you may not have the, how can I say it? You may not have the work ethic to take you where you want to go. I had an old football coach of mine. He said something that he said always stuck with me, and I carry this with me in everything I do. He said that your talent can take you places that your work ethic cannot keep you. So because yes, you may be good at it, but if you don't have the knowledge behind it, you'll just be spinning your wheels.
Yeah, and don't worry about if you're doing the same thing that someone else is doing. Like, that's annoying to me. Like, people be like, I wanna do this, like lashes and hair and do this and do that. Do it. Like, everybody is doing the same thing, but they're not doing the same thing. Like, you got people that's good. Like, if you're doing hair, you got people that are great in doing ponytails, and because I do upholstery, and I'm not the only one in the world that's doing upholstery. Like, collaboration over competition. That's how I look at it. Like, you in the grocery store, you got bread right next to the other bread, like honey, wheat, white, all that. You just had to find what makes you stand out. So, like, with me and my chairs, I had to do my research on other people who are making these chairs, and I was like, okay, how can I make this into my own? Whereas though, when y'all see my chairs, y'all know it's me, and I did that. I know that fits my client. That's how I stood out. I have many distributors that I build relationships with that gives me fabrics that nobody has ever seen, in a sense. Like, you have to really just stand out and make sure, like, people are buying into you. Like, a lot of people don't even just, like, yeah, I do chairs, but they like me. Like, they like who I am. Not only is my chairs that stand out, but my customer service is one. And pretty much just who I am, like, as a person. So
I would also say, just to add on to that, I would also say build a team. Get people around you that are like-minded. Also, there's an old saying, you guys might have heard this before, but if you're the smartest person in the room, or if you're the smartest person in your group of friends or your circle, then you probably should find a new circle, because there's always something that you can take from somebody else. And if everybody's on the same level intellectually or have the same mentality, then you're going to stay stagnant. You're not going to be able to grow. And in business, like, you always want to be doing a little bit better than you were the year before, or the month before, the week before. Depending on how fast you can grow and depending on how fast you want to grow your business. And also, don't be afraid to fail. Failure's a part of it. Me and my business partners, we made many mistakes. Even mistakes that we're still dealing with to this day. But without those mistakes, we wouldn't have the knowledge that we have now. So I would just say, don't be afraid to fail. Failure is a part of it. It's not about how many times you fall. It's how many times you get back up, and are you willing to get back up? Are you willing to go through those tough times when you're not making the money that you wanted to make or the money that you thought that you would make? It's all about being resilient and staying true to your purpose and staying true to your plan. And that's another thing. You gotta have a plan. Like, you gotta have a plan.
Blow that shit up, babe. Blow that shit up. Yeah, so